Shalom Yasharallah again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation, much love for Yaki and pushing his truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. It's going to be a real short one here, but I wanted to jump into this here article. It says more countries join Russia's SWIFT alternative central bank. The system now includes 115 foreign entities from 14 nations. And as the scriptures speak about, water the heathen rage, all right, and imagine a vain thing, all right, trying to, pretty much jockeying for position of who's up next, all right. Hey, we see Babylon the Great about to come up out of that position of power. Now we all want to fill that their void, whether it be China, especially when it comes to economics, or Russia when it comes to military, or for resource, natural gases and things like that, replacing America in their hegemony, man. They're designing these different systems, whether it be the BRICS nations, all right, trade, military, how do I say, military arms development and exports. You know what I'm saying? Russia's been doing that a lot more lately. Beforehand, it was Lockheed Martin and Raytheon coming out of Babylon the Great, supplying the rest of NATO and all their allies with their weapons. But guess what? Russia's now becoming a number one exporter of these things now, man. All right. So it says this is. Let me read here. It says Russia's SPF interbank messaging system is now expanding at an unprecedented pace and now includes 469 participants, according to Allah Bakina, head of the central bank's National Payment System Department. All right, and ultimately, all this is linked in with Esau's system, all in all, because we know what the end game goal is going to be. All right, Revelation 13 caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive that mark in their right hand or on their foreheads, man. All right. So even, looking at some of these systems trying to break away from the American dollar and everything, like China with they either have the petro yuan is one of the systems they're trying to create, instead of the petro dollar, they got the petro yuan, but also the digital yuan is the actual currency, man. So they can so-called trade with these backdoor deals and not be on this main system. All right. But think about this, man. Just because you see them doing that, which is so-called, we're trying to break away from the system. What are all these other systems doing in return? They're all going the same way too, man. Going digital. So, it's all working together for Esau and his little plan and what he got going on. But hey, man, the Most High is going to bring all this to naught anyway, man. All right, like the scriptures say, he did. We'll get to it, about him laughing at all this futile work, man. All right, the futile plans that they have going on, or what they imagine. All right, imagining these vain things. We're going to continue on. And, man, the Lord's about to come and put all these people into captivity, man. All right. It says, over the past year, we have connected as many members as for the entire period of the system's operation. The banking official stated on Friday that the sidelines of the forum, and I can't even pronounce that, it says around 115 participants are foreign entities from 14 countries, Bakina added. She noted that the Russian central bank is working to connect even more countries to its SPF or SPFS system. We work with friendly countries. They connect in different formats, both individually and through a service bureau. The list is expanding, said the officials. An alternate to the SWIFT, the SPSF, ensures the transfer of financial messages between banks inside and outside of Russia. All right. And that's just to give you basically a definition of what these systems are. All right. It's how do I put it in layman's term? If I want to send you, like on our level and stuff like that, if I want to send you some cash the quick, fast way, like most people are doing it nowadays, it's either a Cash App, a Venmo, or let's just use that right there, right? Or Zelle, right? Cash App, Venmo, or Zelle. So imagine we live in a world where the only way to transfer money from one person to the other person, in the quickest way, you had back in the older days, wiring people money orders, money grams and things like that. But let's say nowadays, if you're old enough, you remember those money grams. You got to go inside, call on the phone and send it to somebody else. They got to go to a phone and they got to pick it up and call there, and they got the money wired to them that way, man. But nowadays it's like, just imagine the only system that we had was Cash App, and Cash App was doing some funny shit. Let's say they was taking 20%, some high portion of whatever you're trying to send, right? And then now all of a sudden they come out with a new system, right? And the new system to compete with that would be what? Venmo, right? Now everybody's jumping ship because the whole system is all built on Cash App. They got a monopoly in the game. Everybody has to use Cash App, right? So now Venmo comes out and it's a competing system just so that they don't have to pay that 20%. just so that Cash App don't have that hegemony over everybody else, man. All right, so this is pretty much what you have going on here, right? It's basically a way of transferring, especially on large scales, like when these nations are doing trades, hey, we need to send billions of dollars to Ukraine. They're not just sending them a box full of money. All right, they doing these transfers, man. All right, and this is how they do them through these here systems. All right. It says it was created in 2014 in response to the first wave of the sanctions over Crimea's reunification with Russia. It says which targeted a number of Russian banks among other entities. So, hey, putting sanctions on these banks in Russia is stopping them from being able to do deals. Hey, we ain't accepting no money this way. Imagine, like I said, Cash App is the only way of doing business, right? And all of a sudden, you get your Cash App banned, and you can't use Cash App to pay for things. So now you stuck. You can't pay your bill in a restaurant. You can't pay your light bill, your utility bills. You can't pay none of your bills because your Cash App is all fucked up, right? Well, guess what? They didn't came up with a new system. Now we accept Venmo. We know how Cash App been doing, stealing people money and prices all going up and everything else like that. Hey, now we accept Venmo. Guess what's gonna happen? Everybody gonna start jumping ship to the Venmo to be able to circumvent that blockage from Cash App, man. All right, and again, I'm not using this as a real example. It's just an something so that you can understand this in layman's term, man. If we did live like with just Cash App and it was only Cash App, and then now you got a new surface, Venmo, right? I don't want to alarm nobody or something. Oh, what's going on with Cash App? Just as an example, right? It says, let's jump down here. It says Moscow has promoted the use of SPFS as the West has ramped up sanctions. Russia has also accelerated efforts to move away from the dollar and the euro towards settlements in national currencies. All right. And again, you have to understand like the petrodollar and things like that. They can't, in their case, sell oil to these other nations without having American dollars, and they would have to go through the Swiss system to do a lot of these things. So, hey, when they get those sanctions put on them, they're not allowed to be able to make these transactions go through. But what are they pushing for? Hey, we want to go and sell our oil in our own currency. Well, what kind of system do you have set up to be able to transfer that money to be able to take this? Like, let's say, for again, using Cash App as the example, right? Well, what if I would need to send one of my relatives some money in Mexico and they take pesos? I can't send them pesos, bro. I got to find a system where I can convert my American money into pesos to be able to send them some pesos over there. You see what I'm saying? So, hey, man, this is, pretty much, in layman's terms, how these here systems go. But the point is that these nations, let's go ahead and grab that right quick. I know a lot of this goes over a lot of people's head, but what you have to understand is from, a broader perspective, all right, a bigger picture looking at these things. This is what these nations are really looking to do, all right? It says Psalms 2:1. It says, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? Now in the NLT, it says, why are the nations so angry? Why do they waste their time with futile plans, all right, vain plans, empty plans? Because, why are they vain? Why are they empty? Because ultimately the Lord, well, we'll get to it, but ultimately the Lord is about to throw all this shit away, man. You're not gonna accomplish all this shit that you building up is not gonna work out, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like giving an example of somebody doing something. It's like you over here buying all this here furniture and decorating this here house, and the house is up for foreclosure and to be demolished because you know what I'm saying, you got some kind of issue over here, but you spending all your time decorating this house and buying furniture and getting furniture shipped to this here house. By the time the furniture actually make it to the house, guess what? The house gonna be bulldozed over, man. You don't even own the land or the property anyway, man. They about to build a highway right here, man. So why you even worrying yourself all online, IKEA.com, ordering furniture and shit, bro? Wasting all your money for what reason, man? All right. It says, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, right? So again, they're basically plotting against the Lord and against Yahushua. It says, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. So the plan is that, well, we'll have to read. Let me just jump down to verse 6. It says, yet I have set my king upon my holy hill of Zion. Right. So basically going into Yahushua is being, how do I say, chosen to be the next ruler. All right. As this kingdom is about to fall, the new kingdom that's going to rule after that is the kingdom of Israel. All right. And the king that's going to rule over top of that kingdom is Yahushua, man. He up next. He's preparing for his reign coming up, man. But these nations are putting it into their minds, hey, we gonna reign next. We up next. We gonna do this. We gonna do that. We building our own system. So when America fall, we're gonna have the emergent system that's gonna come up over top of all those things. But in reality, hey man, let's read. It says, let me just go back up to the top. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointing, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast their cords away from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord shall have them in derision. All right. So, hey, then he shall speak unto them in his wrath and vex them with his sword of displeasure. So as they're trying to set up their rulership after these Edomites in America fall, all right, hey, they think that they're gonna rule up next, man. But the Lord has a rude awakening for them, man. All right, the Lord is about to set up Yahweh to rule, man. I did want to grab something else, but you know what? We'll just close out with this. Like I said, I'm not gonna make this too long. We can close out with this in Job 20 because I was speaking about that petro yuan or just these digital currencies that they're going into. 22. Yep. So, speaking on these different nations going to their little digital currencies and all these different things, because we know this is where it's ultimately going, right? Job 20 and 22, it says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, all right, he shall be in straits, and every hand of the wicked shall come upon him, dealing with Esau and his new world order. It says, when he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So, hey, in the midst of Esau getting to the pinnacle of his rulership, all right, this is when, or the end of his rulership, this is when Yahushua is going to make his return. So as all these other nations are preparing, to rule once Esau falls, the Most High is about to send Yahushua at the same very time, man. Even in the midst, we can read this in Second Ezra 13, in the midst of World War III, right when the missiles start flying and everything, Yahushua going to come back. They're going to stop their fight with one another, and then they're going to try to fight against the Lord, but the Lord going to put them all into subjection, man. So again, they're wasting their time with these futile plans of setting up their new systems. Oh, we gotta get the BRICS nations. We gotta get SPSF system to replace the SWIFT system. All right, we gotta get all these different things, these different governance. We can't trust on the the G7, G20, or the UN no more. We gotta come up with our own pacts, our own agreements, our own this and our own that. Because hey, the way the world is right now, we gotta set up something new, man. We gotta set up some new system, man. How are we going to rule and how are we going to reign and everything else like that. But what does the Lord say, man? I'm going to laugh when I have them in derision, man. All right. Hey, Yahushua is about to reign next, man, and reign supreme. All right. But I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Like I said, it's not going to be a very long one. Just wanted to touch on that in that their article about how, these nations are still setting up to be ruling next after Esau falls. But ultimately, they're going to all be put to naught, man. They're all going to come to shame. All right. I'm going to close out with that saying, Lord willing, the elect was edified with this here lesson. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation, much love for you. I can push this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and endure afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say stay strong. Shalom.